Hello, I am Sohail, and in this video, we would like to show some ways to create an additive synth. A sound like a percussive sound, which, for example, the attack time is very short and the reels time is but 1 second or less than 1 second. We start to see that how we can create this sound in practice, and we can start with coding. At the first, I write the key of play in the Supercollider, and then I press enter. As you know that with the mix engine we can create some functions, which each of these functions are located in an index of an array. For example, with the Mix.fill, by the first parameter we can say that how many functions or how many indexes we would like to have in an array. For example, I started to write mix. Sorry, I should, for example, after write a left brace, because in the play we need a function. Okay, here I start to write mix dot fill left parent. The first argument is the number of the indexes of our array, which is for example here 100. That says we would like to have 100 functions, different functions in our array, and each functions are located in these indexes. Okay, the next step, we should create our function. The function, the values in the function should be certainly different with each other. For example, if the frequency of the first function is 80 in a sinus wave, for example, the another function in the another index of our array we could have another frequencies. Here I start to write. Okay, we start our function with the left brace, and we have a sinus, and the frequency should be a random between 200 and 600. And then as a phase we should put the 0, and as an envelope we can say engine.ar and perk left paren, and as an attack time we can write 0.008, and as a release time we can say 1 second, and as a amplitude we can say 0.03, for example. And then we close the env perk with right paren and comma done action colon 2. We close the envgen with right paren. We close the sinus. As later we close our function in each indexes of our array. We close the mix, and then we close the function in the play, and then the play we close the method of play, and then another right print to close all of the black. I run it with Control plus Enter. As you have listened now to our code, we have generated a sound which is like a percussive sound because we implemented the env perk with a attack time of 0.008 and a release time of 1. We can, for example, change the release time to 0.5, a half of a second, and and then okay to the 0.5. It was shorter. And for example, we can here use a very simple algorithm. For example, here above of the mix, I add this x equals, for example, 500 semi. Semi, it's the sign which we should of course put at the end of the line in the Supercollider to indicate that this line has been ended. Yes. Okay, we go to the rrand here. The first one is the minimum value and the second one is the maximum value. We can here use a very simple algorithm. For example, I remove all of these. Okay, x as a 500 minus x slash 2 divided to 2, and then the maximum x plus x slash 2 means that now our values here is x is 500 and our value here is the 250 and 750 with a very simple algorithm. And now I run it. Okay, for example, I can change the 500 to 1000. Yeah, for example, also we can here, as you see, Mix.fill 100. We now have 100 sinus wave between 200 with a frequency between 250 and 750. We can, for example, have only 10 sinus wave instead of 100. Every time we run, we listen to a different sound. Now I'm pressing the Control press Enter, because you know that the random between 250 and 750 can be with very various frequencies. For example, 10 times we are getting a value for each of our sinus oscillator, and each sinus oscillator is located in the indexes of our array. I think you may know the array. What is array? Is a list of the numbers. For example, A, B, C, D. It can be an array with 4 indexes, but here we can the sinus waves as indexes, not ABC. For example, the sinus wave 1, sinus wave 2, sinus wave 3, and the sinus waves are with different frequencies here. And I, for example, put another value for the X, something like 10,000. It means that now we have frequencies randomly between 5,000 and 15,000. I run it, and I can change the 10 here to a number which is bigger, for example 20, for example 50. I can here change it to the, for example 1000 again, or maybe frequency lower, for example 100 only. As you see, is a sound with a lower frequencies. And for example here we have 50 sinus oscillator, and I change it to, for example 90, and for example frequency to the 900 you have here. And also I can change the release time to the 1 or to the 0.1, and I can change again the, for example 900 to the 9000, and for example 90 to the 9. Each time I'm running this code, you see that we have a sound with some common features and some differences. Here, for example, I run it again. You see that because we have now only some sinus oscillators, but 9, we can change the amplitude of the end gen to some number which is bigger, 3 to the 6. You see, I hope that this video helps you generating very interesting sounds, and helps you to find the best way of generating your methods to achieve the sounds with your mind. Goodbye.